Thanks to Season 1 of Fallout, there's a new creature Cooper calls a Gulper. For those who haven't played the games, then you might not know that Gulpers already exist in Fallout. However, they are slightly different to this new kind of Gulper. Before the show, Gulpers were merely mutated hellbender salamanders, aquatic amphibians transformed by radiation caused by the Great War. According to Fallout 4's loading screens and Old Longfellow, a hunter residing on the island in the Far Harbor DLC, Gulpers continuously grow, reaching sizes 2-3 times that of an average man. While it is true the larger they become, the more deadly they are, giant Gulpers, or Gulper devourers, are rarely seen on the island, which is a good thing, because they are enormous creatures, roughly the size of an adult deathclaw, and just as dangerous. Those that are found on the island prefer living in areas with fresh water, although they don't swim. Instead, they use their tails to hang upside down, dropping mouth first onto unsuspecting prey. Yet, if hungry enough, they will seek out human settlements too, such as Far Harbor. And since humans also need fresh water to live, it's really only a matter of time before humans and Gulpers cross paths. And they are extremely territorial, patrolling their territory on two legs, watching with black beady eyes. Any prey that can't be ambushed is met head-on. Quite literally, Gulpers rush forwards with all their weight in the hopes of knocking their target to the ground, after which they bludgeon them to death with their large heads. Quite a way to go. Fortunately, they do have a particular weakness Wastelanders should take advantage of if they want to survive, and that's targeting their soft underbellies. Another similarity they also share with Deathclaws. And that's not all, because just like Deathclaws, Gulpers use their strength to move cars out of the way and use their speed to dodge bullets, which never fails to make things interesting. Now, Gulpers do come in many sizes. While we don't find any eggs, we do see Gulper newts, the smallest and weakest kind of Gulper, but in time they will grow. Their skin thickens to resist attacks, and darkens to blend in with the environment, making it easier for them to ambush prey from above. And there's something else too. Certain Gulpers, known as glowing Gulpers, have absorbed massive amounts of radiation, causing them to glow a bright green and deal radiation damage. Admittedly, they are much less likely to ambush prey thanks to this new ability, so those that do glow are rarely seen hanging around, waiting for the food to come to them. Speaking of food, while searching the contents of their stomach, or innards, we can see just how varied their diets can be, finding deathclaw hands, silver bowls, and rat poison, among many other assorted pieces of junk, showing they will just about eat anything they can get their mouths on, including unsuspecting humans who happen to enter their watery homes. But this goes both ways, because some people also consume Gulpers, just not in the way you might think. Pre-war hellbender salamanders are covered in mucus, which protects them from abrasion and parasites. It's also quite distasteful to predators. In fact, hellbender salamanders are nicknamed snot otters for the mucus they secrete when threatened, and this could be why survivors tend not to eat post-war mutated versions. Simply put, they taste bad. The only part of a Gulper that is consumed are the innards. By mixing acid, crystals, purified water, and Gulper innards, you're left with a Gulper slurry, a kind of stew with a unique effect similar to that of a stealth boy, which is really weird considering Gulpers don't have the ability to turn invisible. So I don't see the connection, but it is something that's in the game, so I thought I should mention it. Gulpers can also be found elsewhere off the island, places like Appalachia in the Mire and Cranberry Bog, and they are the exact same type of creature. They still prefer living in fresh water and ambushing prey from above with an open mouth, though, unlike the island, Appalachia is home to a few rare types, such as scorched Gulpers affected by the scorched plague, and acidic Gulpers who for some reason have acidic glands, the latter of which has led to survivors using their unique acidic properties to make moonshine and caustic weapons, which are rather strange. But not as strange as the new Gulpers on the west coast. Before the show was released, I had a feeling Hawthorne Medical Laboratories was somehow responsible for these new Gulpers, and to my surprise, I was right. Sometime after the Great War, experiments were conducted inside Vault 4 by overseer Lloyd Hawthorne and his wife Cassandra Hawthorne. Together the couple were attempting to hybridize humans and rad-resistant species, creating humans who could live on the surface without fearing the effects of radiation. We don't know if the forced evolutionary virus was used or not, but what we do know, based on the information we have, is Benjamin's great-uncle Peter was allegedly turned into a Gulper, while other Gulpers were successfully bred by impregnating women with genetically engineered embryos. So, either these creatures can be made in multiple ways, or Benjamin is slightly confused. Regardless, the Gulper newts that were born consumed their surrogate mother. Eventually, the remaining test subjects broke free and took over the vault, which is a video for another time. But during the uprising, several of the Gulpers managed to escape, and much like their East Coast counterparts, they sought out fresh water. And it's here we get a really good look at the new creature. It's much bigger than a Gulper devourer, resembles an axolotl, another type of salamander. Its skin is much more pale and pink, although it does seem to be thick enough to withstand a few good shots from Goosey and Thaddeus. Maximus, not so much. Its eyes are not black but coloured, human you could say. Its front limbs resemble human hands with webbed fingers, and their many fleshy prehensile feelers resemble human fingers, nails and all. And it's these which help the Gulper consume food using the gulp and suck method, where their throat expands and they open their mouth to cause suction to drag in water and prey, something it does to the baby deer, Lucy's foot, and Thaddeus's lower half. If not for Maximus and his suit of T-60 power armor, the Gulper would have surely had a good meal. But by using the suit's strength, the suction was reversed and the Gulper's innards were forced outwards, killing the creature. And we can see once again, they aren't fussy when it comes to eating. There's a skull, which may belong to the baby deer. There's also various pieces of scrap metal and assorted junk. These items could have been consumed while eating prey, or the Gulper isn't that bright and merely swallows whatever disturbs the water. In terms of hunting, these new Gulpers do differ from those previously seen in the games. They don't hang from trees, instead hiding in the water and swimming towards prey when the water is disturbed, something Cooper takes advantage of by using Lucy as bait. Sadly, we don't know how many of them escaped Vault 4, we don't know how long they live or if they can reproduce, so this Gulper could be the last one in existence. But considering how they were made, and if Overseer Benjamin is telling the truth about his great-uncle Peter being turned into one, then maybe that's a good thing. Be sure to show your support by liking the video and subscribing if you haven't already for more Fallout content. If there's anything you'd like to see in a later video, leave a comment and I'll see what I can do. With that said, thank you, as always, for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.